My name is Charlie Mongrandi. I'm 24 years old and I went to Ridley High School.
And then, so can you tell us any other positions you've had and any other jobs?
Yeah, so I have a short list of jobs. After the gift shop, I became a banquet server at a place called Heritage Ballrooms, no longer open. That's where I kind of learned how to deal with people more, and yeah, kind of like hospitality industry and whatnot.
Hmm.
Uh, After that, I I fell into a job on a horse farm in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. I've done it all there from gardening to even riding and taking care of the horses, and then eventually became the head groundskeeper there. I've been there for about 6.5 years, um, and that's probably where I've learned the bulk of my work life. Just learning on the job every day, learning how to deal with people, whether it's coworkers or taking care of people through other businesses to work together to, you know, whatever it might be to keep the business going. So
It's
yeah,
a really cool job. I don't know anybody else that works on a horse farm.
yeah. Thanks.
Okay, Charlie, my name is Avery. Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but can you go into a little more detail on what you do for your job or tell us about your company?
Yeah. So actually, I didn't the so the last part to the last question was now I currently work at a company called Sneak Peek Screen Printing.
I'm sorry, can you say
Um,
it one more time?
so now to finish the last question, I actually I'm still at the farm a couple of days a week as like just kind of like an off grounds consultant. If anybody has any questions or whatnot, because I know the ins and outs.
Ground like the sneak peek though. So that one.
Yeah. So now I'm working full time at a company called Sneak Peek Screen Printing. We do wholesale T-shirts, any kind of garments and whatnot. But that is a startup that my friend started about 10, 11 years ago. I came in about 5, 6 years ago. Um, and that's kind of every day just learning how a business grows, um, dealing with the hiring process of new people, um, just trying to keep a business going, but also growing at the same time at a more or less exponential rate each year.
Okay. Before starting this, was this a passion of yours or something you saw yourself doing?
Um, I always I always had the thought of like starting my own business. With this company, I didn't really get the chance to start it, but it's cool to be a part of a startup company. I always enjoyed not having to answer to somebody more or less at work. So I have the freedom of being able to do what I want, kind of, as long as work is getting done and we're continually growing. Um, yeah, like same with the farm at Sneak Peek. I kind of done it all, each position. So I know the ins and outs of the whole company itself. Um, yeah.
Okay. And then how did Sneak Peek start up?
So it actually started. It's four guys, and they started out by thrifting shoes up in New York. Um,
Were they like
and
reselling shoes? If you don't mind me
they're
asking.
re yeah they're reselling shoes, like Jordans, Nikes, anything popular. That was back in '09, 2010 when everything kind of went to crap with the economy, with the housing crisis and all that. So it kind of slowed down, and then they kind of saw it as a pipe dream. They didn't really see much scalability through
Mhm.
that way. And then they kind of figured, everybody needs a T-shirt, so why not try to get into that business? And that's kind of how it all started.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi, Charlie. I'm Gab. Um, how would you say the company is now compared to where it began?
It's like night and day, I would say. When it first started, there's a pool table. There wasn't much productivity. Bills were barely getting paid. I would say now we're on course to do about 1.1 million this year. And everything's great now. I would say everybody's on board. We're trying to actually kind of scale the company with more employees as well as equipment, just to produce more and continually, grow. So, yeah.
Glad to hear that. What are your strengths and weaknesses as an industry professional?
I would say so. My strengths would be I'm pretty good at planning things out. I guess if you give me, a handful of things to whatever it might be, I'll try to prioritize them and then also try to knock them out in the most efficient way. Um, I'm I'm good with people, I would say. With that being said, also on the back end, I'm sure I'm kind of hard headed at times at work, so definitely don't always get along. But I would say for the most part, everything kind of moves smoothly through my day to day operations. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know.
And you said you started the company with your friends. Like, how is it working with friends of your own versus like random people?
I'll say when the times are hard, they're definitely hard. And then when things are going very well, you can really notice the difference in people's happiness and well-being. It's it's definitely tricky because you don't want to step on people's toes, as well as ruin any friendships or anything like that. So it's definitely a fine line. You're definitely trying to keep everybody happy, but at the same time make sure everybody's on the same page. I got a great team with me, so I would say we all seem to stay on the same page and all know that the goal at hand is bigger than all of us. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, Charlie, hey, it's me. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'd like to we our goal is to try to get to about 2.5 million a year production rate. From there, we don't really know which way we want to take the company. We're kind of just in the brainstorming
I'm sorry,
aspect of it.
but I
Yes.
gotta like be specific. So the question I'm gonna ask you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and then the company. So,
Oh, okay.
so, like, if you
Okay.
could first like specify like you personally, and then like the company itself, like
Okay.
5 years.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Where I see myself in 5 years would be, I guess I'd like to be experiencing financial freedom. Um, I'd like to be dabbling in real estate, because real estate seems to last forever for the most part. Definitely, I would say I'd like to be heading in the direction towards a venture capitalist, investing in companies, stuff like that. Um, just trying to keep my money growing or working for itself while also having multiple incomes. Um, so,
Okay, and then where do you see the company in 5 years?
so the company, we're in the brainstorming phase now. We've had the idea of possibly franchising the company, figuring out a way to kind of set up some kind of I don't know, model to where we could offer a franchise possibility. Um, we've also talked about taking the extra money that we make through revenue and trying to start a hedge fund. There's many ways we've thought about going about it, or as simple as just continually building the company to just make more and more each year. So,
Okay. Have you had any other like professional accomplishments or like anything just in general that you'd want us to like add in there?
no,
No.
no, I can't think of anything. No, sorry.
that's it. But I mean, do you
Well,
guys-
actually, I'm sorry, Kenzie. I don't mean to cut you off, but Charlie, if you don't mind, if I can ask you one more question.
Okay.
So earlier, you briefly stated you've held just about every position within Sneak Peek on the horse farm. Just
Mhm.
going from one to the other. Can you briefly tell us about some of those positions that you held, and which ones were your least favorite, most favorite? Just
Okay, so with Sneak Peek, I started off as kind of the just doing all the grunt work, cleaning, making sure the guys had what they needed for the next day. Not really fun work, not making great money, and just trying to get through each day, and trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Um, so that's where I started, and then slowly moved up to kind of like floor manager, I guess you would say, where make sure all the jobs for the next day were all organized and each person knew what they needed. It's kind of just like the guy behind the curtain, just making sure everything's running smoothly on the floor, on the production floor. From there, I did sales for about 6 months to a year. I flourished for a good bit. I taught myself graphic design, basic graphic design. But I love dealing with people, so that was fun to me. I hope one day I could get back into that. And now I'm a printer so I'm actually producing the wholesale orders themselves, hands on. I do enjoy it. I'm very good at it. But I definitely one day would like to be back doing sales or some kind of sales. So
okay. And your least, I'm assuming your least favorite one was the grunt work, the cleaning.
yeah, being at the bottom of the totem pole is never fun. So yeah.
That makes sense.
if you guys have any more questions you've thought of throughout the interview, we can ask, or if Charlie, you had any questions for us.
I do not.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
thank
no
you,
problem.
Charlie. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
you taking
Yeah,
time out
thank
of
you,
your day
Charlie.
to do our interview for us and answer our
No problem.
questions.
I hope I did well.
You
you
nailed it.
did.
And we hope everything goes well with your real estate, because
Awesome.
that is great.
Yeah.
Just don't forget about us little people when we come to you for
Yeah,
our new
no, I
homes.
hear you.
Mhm.
We'll see how it goes.